Hey YouTube, been wanting to make a new video lately, so I wanted to talk about the Slate EV truck that's coming out soon, and why I'm highly, highly cautiously optimistic about it. Um, Comes from a variety of different directions. I I'll dive right into it. I really like the truck. I think compared to it looks a little weird in comparison to the trucks that are on sale right now because, you know, we're so used to having such large trucks that when you look at it, especially as it rolled out in the press release, it looked really small and kind of wonky. But I feel like in person, it's something that we're going to have to get used to again. We've been so conditioned to see trucks as these massive, always crew cab, the long bed, huge things that, seeing a single cab truck with a, short wheelbase strikes us as something being odd. But I like the design. I really like the idea of invoking the 90s type boxy, 80s, 90s boxy Jeep Cherokee XJ look. I think the SUV variant of it, specifically with the back and windows and everything on the rear of it, looks really good. The product itself is nice. I like going back to basics. I like cutting all the content that's not necessary. Where I'm coming from with it being cautiously optimistic is the marketability, pricing, that kind of thing. I feel like we've seen this before when it comes to the cheap new product that's, supposed to revolutionize the market. And to put it bluntly, I really feel like, and I hope to God that I'm wrong. I really feel like this is going to be yeah, it's $20,000 with the federal tax incentive. That's probably not going to exist next year. And that's just the launch edition. And then in the 2027 model year, it's going to start at 37,000 bucks for a, base one because increased production costs and yada, 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 yada. It's exactly what happened with the Ford Maverick with the, you know, promised MSRP of under $20,000 before destination, um, which is now, I think the Ford Maverick is going for like 24, $5,000 now for a stripper, hybrid model. It just doesn't happen. It's a marketing tactic to get people on board, generate the, reservations and these $50 reservations that are refundable. I used to work for Volkswagen, and when the ID.4 first came out, it was my job to, sell and market that car. And I did the exact same thing. We were marketing it hard, refundable $100 deposit, get yourself in line. All the money goes to VW. They use it to do whatever they need to do to, get the, production, whatever. And then the price, jumps six times before the car actually gets delivered, and half the people cancel their reservation anyway. So that's, in essence, why I'm cautiously optimistic about the slate. I have an 94 now, and the lease is up in August of 2027. I would jump right on one of those things if it's actually, 20 G's after a $7,500 tax credit, which again probably isn't going to exist at that time. If it does, great. But I really don't think it's going to cost that much. I think they're going to find a way to, get it out the door for the original, the first, lucky 500 people that, got their hands on a reservation and get that actual $20,000 price point. But we don't even know how much these accessories are going to cost. I mean, think about like this SUV conversion that everybody wants to do. Let's say the car is, you know, $27,000, which is how much it's actually going to cost MSRP wise, without the EV credit. And then let's tack on another probably $3,000 to $6,000 for this SUV conversion, and then 400 there, 500 there, 300 there, 400 there, 500 there for all these little accessories that you want to add on. And then we're already back to what, like 35, $36,000, and then it's not really that competitive anymore, especially when we're talking about the low range one that has 150 miles of range. You can get, I mean, yeah, I get it. It's cool. It's stripped out and it's like a lifestyle item, but when you're talking like almost 40 grand again, you're getting into, competitive hybrid and gas SUV area, which doesn't even make the product competitive anymore. So it kind of loses its touch when you're talking about a 37,000 150-mile range EV SUV, of which there are many which, actually have an interior and, have much more range than that. So that's why I'm cautiously optimistic about it. I really hope that doesn't happen because I like it. I want to buy one, but that's just my, reading car, magazines every day and working in the automotive industry. I know how these things tend to pan out. And, if anyone can do it with the backing that they have, they might be able to. But I, I just see this being another Ford Maverick. And then with all the little, knickknacks you can add on to it, it ended up being closer to 40 grand again. And then with the bigger battery and every model year, it becomes, 20% more expensive. It's just going to be another one of those things that is a, empty promise. Please, Slate, prove me wrong. I would absolutely put my money where my mouth is. I have no problem making stupid financial decisions and buying more cars than I need to. So if they can prove me wrong, I would love to see it. But if anybody has any input or thinks that I'm, right or wrong, I'd love to hear about it and, chat in the comments. But that's my thought on the Slate EV. So I'd love to hear from you, and hopefully I'll be able to make some more automotive, based videos soon. And I've wanted to get back into YouTube and maybe talk about personal finance and that kind of thing. So appreciate your time if you're still here, and hope everybody has a great day.